The human skin is dissolving, accompanied by a severe pain, and its skin gradually disappears, exposing its organs and bones directly to the air. Soon, there was only a constantly twisted skeleton frame left on the bed, and the next second, the skeleton frame also completely disappeared. All the experimenters were overjoyed as they finally made a significant breakthrough in their long-standing stealth technology. And the invisible man's name is Edward, who is the head of this research team. Prior to this, they had been conducting experiments on animals until one day they finally succeeded in normalizing the transparent stars. Edward's attempt to directly apply this experiment to humans was met with collective opposition from the upper echelons. In order to prove the correctness of his experiment, he decided to be the first mouse. Under the watchful gaze of his colleagues, Edward injected himself with medication, and after experiencing immense pain, the experiment was successful. 1 hour later, transparent Edward woke up, and Xiaomai took him to the observation room. He would remain invisible for 3 days, and after 3 days, he would be injected with a recovery agent to prove the completion of his experiment. Mature. At night, Xiaomai stayed alone in the laboratory to work overtime. Just as he was operating the microscope, the cola next to him suddenly appeared on the next table, warning Edward not to mess around. The next second, he felt a pair of invisible hands pulling at his clothes. Xiaomai couldn't bear it anymore, so she picked up her coat and prepared to leave. 3 days later, his colleague injected the antidote into Edward's body as scheduled, but he did not follow the original plan. Instead, he developed symptoms of rapid heartbeat and inability to breathe. Soon he painfully broke free from his restraint, his figure began to constantly change, and finally he fell directly to the ground, without thinking about anything. My colleague picked him up to bed and urgently underwent cardiopulmonary resuscitation, but he quickly turned back into a bone, a frame, and gradually disappeared in front of everyone. In order to see Edward, Xiaomai poured a can of fluid all over him, and then cut out her nose and mouth. With the failure of the experiment, Edward's body was also significantly affected by radiation, and he began to become emotionally irritable, and his gaze at his female colleague also became eerie.